Okay. Ira, pa-check lang if the live stream is okay, please and thanks. So, good morning, guys. Hope you're all well. Our speaker for today is another member of Team Onboarding. Here to continue part 2 of technical analysis. He is a global trader and also the second half of the dynamic duo. Please welcome to the camera, Mendiola. Woo!
Wow, thank you for that introduction. Sobrang ganda. Yan. So, hi guys, good morning. I hope nag-breakfast na kayo and also nakinig kayo ng mabuti kay Peter kasi today, it's more on an application rather than theory. Okay. So, I'll introduce myself first. I'm Mendiola, one of the junior equity traders from CTS Global Equities. Been with the company for around 2 years now. Pero hindi ito yung first job ko. Before, I worked for both a local and international banks. And back then, I trade the local market only. So yung PSEI. And like Peter mentioned yesterday, parang wala kasing direction yung trading during that time eh. So I wanted to learn more. So I joined or enrolled kay Loom Trading Institute and applied as a junior trader in CTS Global Equities. And luckily also, nakapasok din like Peter. No? And from there, my focus is now on the global markets. So welcome guys, and this is the part 2 of the technical analysis. So today, I'm going to discuss about the magnitude and duration. I know guys na this past few weeks, medyo heavy yung mga discussions, no? But don't worry. So today, today's session is more of an activity rather than just me talking. And you'll notice that with continuous practice, yung technical analysis talaga na part of trading is one of the easier to learn, but as important as the other subjects of the FTSR framework. So we'll talk about the supply and demand and the strategies that we are going to use if you're going to trade within duration or magnitude of prices. By the way, majority of what am I going to discuss today, it's based from what I learned from the Loom Trading Institute and my own plus other traders' experiences CTS Global Equities. And I assure you that we're going to make this as simple as possible. But please listen carefully. I suggest na wag tayong mag-rely kay YouTube replay because at the end of my session, meron tayong seat work and I will require few people para mag-discuss about something. Okay? So yun, as simple as that, imagine this arrow as your current trend. Since it is pointing upward, it is obviously an uptrend, di ba? So during a trend, there's a chance that you will have a sudden sharp increase in prices or what we call the magnitude. And eventually, the price will stabilize, which creates a duration. And it can be in a form of duration in time or duration in price. So yung discussion natin today will mainly focus in this illustration. And to be honest with you guys, this is the very basic foundation of my trading system. So yun, before 2020, so this is me and my own bicycle and the other bicycles that are available in the market. And then during the first half of 2020, ano ba nangyari nun? Of course, yung COVID-19 pandemic, di ba? So other professionals, including medical staffs, chefs, and everyone who needs to go to their workplace in order to fulfill their duty, had difficulty commuting publicly, di ba? Because of the limitations. Not only for those who commute regularly, but also those who share rides with their office mates. Siyempre, nagkaroon din ng limitations, di ba? For their own safety. And since not every one of us has the luxury of having their own car, they lean to the most efficient way of alternative, which is the bicycle. And as you can see here, still, there's enough supply for them by that time. And because of that, there was a huge spike in bicycle sales. And then in the late 2020, because of the, again, safety protocol, other hobbies who wasn't able to perform their old hobbies, celebrities, and even children and many more wants to join the cycling trend. But unfortunately, there's not so much stock for them. And because of the law of supply and demand, other suppliers took advantage and sold the remaining stocks at a higher price, creating what we call the magnitude for the price of the bicycles. So may reason behind the magnitude or may catalyst. So the definition of the magnitude is the sharp increase in prices that causes an overbought condition. If downtrend naman, oversold condition. And what do you think will happen in the future? Of course, there will be enough supply of bicycles in the market and everyone will have their own bike. And another example for this, for those na familiar sa BTC, no, or with the BTC mining, if napansin nyo yung mga graphics card natin, um, parang nag times 2 siya last year because of the demand sa BTC mining. So, ngayon, if you check nyo yung marketplace ngayon, medyo mas mababa na siya. So, bakit? Kasi nagkakaroon ng mga bad news regarding sa BTC mining, especially on China. So, makikita mo nga sa news, parang binebenta na nila per kilo yung mga GPU. Ewan ko lang kung totoo, pero that's also a sample of supply and demand or law of supply and demand. So yun, again, eventually, yung mga presyo nga ng bicycles natin, magbababa or at least mag-i-stabilize. And in technical analysis, this is what we call the duration. And this is our initial checklist in order to find a full duration. So number one, well, again, it will remove the overbought and oversold condition. Next will be, it takes about 1 to 2 months, and it can either be in the form of duration in time or duration in price. And it has a clear support and resistance areas. So ano yung strategy natin or strategies na we can apply when trading duration patterns? So one of which is what we call the position trading. And it will allow us to ride the intermediate uptrends in fundamentally sound companies. It is also a way of exploiting mispricing for a story or growth stocks that has been sold off due to external catalysts like market condition, bad news, etc. So again, this is your trend. And within a trend, there's a magnitude. Of course, in order to have a price increase, there must be a demand for the stock. And some of those people who were able to bought here, of course, at this area lamang na sila. So at this area, they will consider, maybe some of them will consider selling na, no? Creating a short-term pressure for the price. So magkakaroon ng sell-off. And then from there, other traders take this or look at this as an opportunity to buy, no? So yung may mga bargain hunters tayo at that area, which will create a short-term demand, kaya tataas din yung price natin. And again, there are some people who bought here, wasn't able to sold here, take nila to as an opportunity to sell their positions. And again, together with the bargain hunters, so lamang na sila at this area, so magbebenta na rin sila, which will create another selling pressure for the stock. And again, there will be bargain hunters. And lastly, meron pa siguro mga natira, no, na mga tao na hindi pa nakabenta ng mga nakabili dito sa area na to and hindi pa sila nakabenta. So, this is an opportunity for them to get out of the stock. So, yun. And this will create what we call the resistance area. And yung area naman sa baba, where the bargain hunters were buying, is yung support area natin. And after that, nag-breakout yung issue. Okay, this is to show you what the duration looks like. Inalis ko lang yung mga ibang drawing. And one of our checklists for you to consider that the duration is finished or for you to clearly define the support and resistance area is by counting points. So yung first point natin is at the end of the magnitude. So ito yung magnitude natin. So dito yung first point natin. Okay? And then second point is the first retracement. And so on. 3, 4, 5. So at least 5. So at least 5 points in order to consider that the duration is finished. Yesterday may nagtanong, bakit daw 4 points lang when it comes to trend, no? Baka nalito tayo. Kasi pagka duration, yung price movement niya is against the trend eh. So ito yung uptrend mo. So sideways movement siya within the trend. Yung trend kasi is yung mismong trend mo siya. So yung price action mo in the long run. So yun. So 4 points lang siya. Pwede ka na mag-drawing ng trend. By the way, this pattern is what you call the ascending triangle, where the sellers are conservative because they are just willing to sell within a certain price. And your buyers are aggressive. Bakit? Because they are willing to pay more kasi dito yung previous low, di ba? Tapos after that, hindi na nila hinayaang makarating dun sa point na yon. They are willing to buy higher or pay more in order to have a stock position. Okay? And another sample of duration, a same scenario lang. But as you can see here, it creates what you call lower high. So diniscuss na to ni Peter yesterday. And then lower low. Which will eventually creates a diagonal support and resistance area. And this is what we call the falling coil. So again, we will count points. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And after that, nag-breakout na yung issue. So, dito naman, yung sellers natin, aggressive sila. Can someone guess why? Bakit aggressive yung sellers natin? Okay, Marco?
Maybe because they want to protect their profits.
Okay. Sige. Yep. They want to protect or secure their profits na. Hindi na nila hihintayin yung area dito kasi maybe they know something na mahina talaga yung issue or they take this as an opportunity to sell na talaga. So, at least hindi sila nagbenta sa mga low points, di ba? So, yun. And dito naman, yung ating buyers were strategic. So, bakit? Kasi parang tinitake advantage nila yung lower low in order to have their position no. Maybe they know something. Maybe because of the fundamentals of the company, story, macro. Pwede ring insider sila, no? Pero hindi natin alam. They are just willing to buy shares at a lower price. Okay. And this is a more basic example of duration. Siguro ito yung mga mas madali nyo makita, no? Pag beginners talagang kita na agad eh. Or others call this one a Darvas box and consolidation and so on. Where both of your buyers and sellers were conservative, creating a flat or straight line support and resistance areas. Next will be both of your buyers and sellers were aggressive, no? Making a tight support and resistance area. So for this illustration, nag-breakout yung issue, pero it's more of a 50-50 talaga. So it can go it can break down then. So last year, US election took place, right? And one of the candidates was the current president, so si Mr. Joe Biden. And one of his plan is to achieve 100% clean energy economy and reach net zero emissions no later than 2050. So tingin nyo sino yung mga potentially mag-benefit dito sa news na to during that time? Anong mga sector kaya yung possible beneficiaries from clean energy and so on? Okay, sige Marco.
Alternate energy and electric vehicles.
Yep, correct. Electric vehicles, alternative energy, solar, yon, yung mga wind, yan, renewable energy and so on. So, of course, other than the yun nga, renewable energy as I mentioned earlier, one of the beneficiary was and still the EV sector. And if you invested in Tesla, you and Elon Musk clearly made a very good amount of money and approve yan ni Elon. And what do you think happened with the price of EV related issues because of the news? Siyempre, nagkaroon sila ng magnitude. So again, in order to have a magnitude, ideally, meron dapat catalyst. Again, ideally, minsan kasi nagkakaroon tayo ng magnitude pero wala silang catalyst. So, eto na, no? More of activity tayo. Let's take a look at some charts. By the way, if you wanted to check or backtest the issue, I included their ticker and yung date or yung year para ma-search nyo siya. Okay. Just by looking at the chart or sorry, at the price, will determine if does it remove the overbought condition and does the move took 1 to 2 months already and does it have a clear support and resistance areas. So okay. So of course, it does remove the overbought condition kasi nandito yung rally natin, 'di ba? And then nagkaroon ka na ng sideways movement for about 1 to 2 months. Kasi for every column ni Big Charts, 1 month siya. In a yearly chart. Okay. So, paano natin madidetermine if meron na siyang clear support and resistance areas? Na-mention ko siya earlier. Okay? Sige, magtatanong tayo. Kobe, paano ba natin siya ma-identify? Counting.
Sorry.
Sorry, paano natin siya ma-identify yung clear support and resistance areas?
May price level ba siya na parating tinetest?
Yung yung kina-count natin, sige, ilan?
Ah,
No, yung minimum lang, yung minimum.
4. Ako ba?
Yung minimum in order for a duration to finish.
4 points, di ba?
5. So 5. Pagka trends, trends yung 4 and then pagka duration, minimum of 5
Ah,
para ma-consider
okay.
natin as complete na. Okay. Yan. Okay. So kailangan natin mag-count points. Okay. So since Kobe, ikaw na rin yung tinawag ko, no?
Pressure
Oo. Sige.
Joke lang pala.
Sige, tulungan mo ako mag-count. I'll do the first one, no? So ito yung 1. So yung second is the first retracement. I-annotate mo na lang siya.
Ano ba yun?
Sa top, if you're using PC, sa top siya.
Oh, okay. Ito ba?
Yup, yung area na yan. So, tama. Okay. Next will be yung lower high. So, this is your high, di ba? So, lower high. And then next, check mo na lang if saan yung retracement niya. So, here. And then, 5, and so on. So, 5 points, di ba, yung minimum natin? So, at this stage, actually, complete na yung duration niya. You can draw your support and resistance area. Sorry, your resistance and then your support area. And then, kaso medyo nagtagal pa yung duration niya, no? So, meron pang 6 and then 7 point. So, from there, we can draw our support and resistance areas. So, complete na yung duration natin. Again, in order for us to consider na complete na yung duration or for us to know na complete na yung duration, kailangan natin yung tatlong checklist natin. Number 1, it does remove the overbought condition. 1 to 2 months, and then clear support and resistance areas. Okay? After that, nag-breakout na yung issue. Maganda if nag-breakout yung issue, meron siyang volume. One of the reason, meaning, ano talaga siya, may resistance area dito. So after breaking out, nawala na yung mga sellers. And there's a demand for the stock. So after that, nag-rally na rin siya. Nagkaroon ng another set of magnitude. And this is, if you look closely, no, maganda talaga tong sample na to, si NIU. So bakit? Because if you remember yesterday na diniscuss ni Peter, ito yung tinatawag na reversal of roles. So yung previous resistance natin, naging support siya. Okay? So next, Tesla. Let's see if the checklist is complete, no? So, just by looking at the price action, no? Tingin nyo ba na-remove na yung overbought condition? Thumbs up na lang if sa tingin nyo na-remove na yung overbought condition. Okay, so yes, na-remove na niya yung overbought condition and it took 1 to 2 months. Actually, sobra pa, no? Sobra pa ng konti. So how can we determine the clear and the support and resistance areas? Again, by counting points. So yung first point natin will be the end of the magnitude. Next will be the first retracement. And then so on. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay? So from there, makaka-drawing na tayo ng support and resistance area. So again, nag-breakout yung issue and after the duration, nagkaroon ulit ng magnitude. So paulit-ulit lang siya, no? Magnitude, duration, magnitude. So maybe may magnitude pa dito, hindi natin alam. Yun. So ito, I'll call someone na just help me identify lang if duration siya or hindi. Okay. So Neo, 2020. Don't worry, Kobe, hindi na ikaw. So yun, sige si Marco muna.
Hi, sir. So,
Okay, sige.
do we ignore the removed one, the box for
Yeah.
so 1.12, it's still in duration.
Okay. Sige, yung checklist muna tayo, no? So number 1, price action wise, tingin mo ba hindi na siya overbought? More of
Ye-
nasa na neutral stage na siya.
yes.
Okay. So check. 1 to 2 months, ito obvious naman, no? So 1 month, tapos medyo 3/4 siguro. So check. So, yun. I-identify na lang natin yung support and resistance areas. So help me identify na lang.
Here's the is this the first one? Somewhere.
Okay?
And then here,
Okay. 1, 2,
Then here,
Okay. Actually, area siya, guys, area. So, ayan. So, 4. Sorry, napaklik ko na. And then, obviously, yung 5 natin dito sa area na to. Can you try to draw yung support and resistance? Actually, sige, try mo siya.
so connecting.
Okay? Ayan. So, very good. Tama siya. So, yung support and resistance natin dito sa example na to is clear. So, this is a duration. Okay. Pa-clear na lang, Marco. Thank you. So, next, workhorse. Nakakabahan na sila. Abe.
Yes.
Okay, so help me. Sige, na-remove na ba niya yung overbought condition?
Yep. There's already selling, so you can see it already that the overbought condition is already removed.
Okay. Sige. Correct. And then 1 to 2 months, obvious na to, no? So
Yep.
yun, let's count na lang yung 5 points.
Okay.
Annotate mo na lang.
So first one,
Okay.
2, 3, 4, 5.
Okay. And then just draw the support and resistance. Right. Diba ang dali lang niya, guys? Sabi sa inyo, madali lang yung technical analysis eh. So yun, support and resistance area. So ito, complete duration na siya. So dapat ready na tayo to execute. Okay? Thank you, Abe. Okay, so ako gagawa nito. So ito kaya ni-remove na niya yung overbought condition? Well, obviously yes. Ito yung magnitude mo and then may sell-off ka na or may correction. Then 1 to 2 months, yes. And clear support and resistance area. So I'll identify the 5 points. No? So 1, tapos yung first retracement niya. For me kasi ito eh. So bakit? Maybe some of you will ask, hindi dito sa area na to. Tine-check kasi natin siya as a whole. Pero if wait lang. Tama ba? Sorry. Pero if we're going to check this area lang, ito yung magiging first retracement natin. So ito yung magiging 2. But after that, nasa na yung 3 mo. So maybe this one. Pero for this example kasi, tine-check natin siya as a whole. Okay? So yung third point ko dito is here. And then for here, tapos 5, medyo questionable for me. So if I'll draw the support and resistance area here, parang ganyan, no? If we're going to connect it. So, do you think duration siya? Or magandang sample ba siya ng duration? May thumbs down ba sa ano? I'm not sure. Meron ba? So yun, this example hindi siya duration. It's more of wala, basta hindi siya duration. Maingay yung pattern niya. Baka maybe it will form a reset. So I think possible ganyan yung gawin niya. Then after that, saka siya magbe-breakout. But who knows? Okay. So next, Jets 2021. So last May lang to, no? I'm not sure what happened na. So I'll call someone okay, Adrian,
Yes.
remove na, no? Na-remove na niya yung overbought condition
Yeah.
because
And
this is
then
your magnitude and meron na siyang correction. So check. And then 1 to 2 months yun. And yun, help me identify na lang the 5 points.
okay, so I'd say that this is the first point,
Okay?
and then this is the second point,
Yep.
third, and then I guess around fourth is parang around here, and then this is the fifth.
Okay. Sige. Tama naman. Area talaga siya. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So from there, pa-clear muna and then draw the support and resistance areas.
So the support and the resistance is like around here, and then support is, I'm not too sure, ganito.
Okay, sige. Pwede naman, pero ang gagawin natin, we'll connect the second and fourth point. So medyo pababa siya. Pababa. So more of like this one and then this one.
Gets.
Okay? Ayan. So yun yung cheating natin doon. We'll connect the second and fourth point. Like Peter mentioned yesterday. Ayan. So clear support and resistance areas. Nawala na yung overbought condition. Then 1 to 2 months. So check to. Duration siya. Next run. Sige ako to. So it removes overbought condition. Obviously, yes. This is your magnitude and then may sell off ka na. And 1 to 2 months, 1 month, and 1.5. And clear support resistance areas. Sige, count tayo. 1, 2, and then 3. Tapos, parang wala na, no? 1, 2, 3 lang. So, obviously, kailangan natin ng 5 points in order to have a complete duration. But for this sample, hindi siya. Okay? Sige, ito. Hingi ako ng tulong ulit. Danny? Danny Micaela?
Yes, sir.
Okay, sige. This is AMBA 2020. You think na remove na niya yung overbought condition? Comparing to our examples earlier.
Baka medyo, but not as much.
Okay, so medyo questionable, no?
Yeah.
So, questionable siya actually. It's not an X, pero yun. May doubt tayo eh. 1 to 2 months, yes, 1 month siya. Pero yung clear support and resistance areas, pwede kaya nating ma-identify. So, try mo identify yung 5 points dito sa sample na to.
Okay. Do I annotate, sir?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so 1, 2, 3. Tama. Okay, 4. Yup. And then 5. So medyo questionable pa yung 5, no? Pero if we draw the support and resistance area, clear siya. So anong tawag natin dito? This type of setup is actually a continuation pattern or what we call blue sky. Basically, shorter form of duration lang siya. If you see something like this, pero parang may doubt ka if nawala na yung overbought condition, no? Yun yung tinatawag na blue sky. And ang difference lang niya with duration is the expectation. Kasi since hindi pa niya talaga naaalis yung overbought condition, maybe yung expectation natin for it to go as much as this, medyo less na siguro. Maybe a few percent na lang after this blue sky, no? So yun lang yung difference nila. Kapag duration kasi we expect it to have another leg of magnitude. Kasi itong setup na to, yung blue sky, is actually part of the magnitude. Okay? Next. So Crocs, not sure if may encircle to. Okay, so this area. Ayun. I'll call Marco na lang ulit.
Hi, sir.
Okay, hello. Do you think na-remove na niya yung overbought condition?
Not really.
Not really. Okay, nice. Kasi parang continuous lang, no, na umaakyat. But
Yep.
does it took 1 to 2 months already? So yes,
Yeah.
no? And then how about the clear support resistance areas? Try mo nga i-identify yung 5 points if meron.
So first is here, and then here, and then here, and then here, and then here.
Okay. Pero actually, ang definition natin or ang criteria natin for the first point is yung end ng magnitude. So since medyo questionable na remove natin yung overbought condition, parang wala pa tayong first point talaga. Pero pag chinek natin, parang meron siyang 5 points, no? Pero if we review nga si first point na kailangan nasa end siya ng magnitude, dapat wala pa talaga siya. Pero parang clear yung support. But how about the resistance? Resistance ba siya? Parang
Parang not really because of the
hindi, no?
this one it's still far.
Yeah. So yun, actually, talagang questionable siya kasi ang dami nating ang dami nating doubts compared kanina. Dire-diretso lang tayo eh. So, wala siyang clear support and resistance areas. And this is what we call the channels. So, ano siya? Kasi wala tayong resistance area na parallel sa intermediate trend mo. So, if we're going to consider the 50 EME as our intermediate trend, dapat hindi siya parallel dun. Dapat 'di ba? It does parang counter. Okay. So what if I told you na meron palang way for beginners like us, no, na to identify yung duration? What if pwede pala natin sila padaliin? So pwede. This is with the use of indicators that Mr. Peter Sanchez discussed yesterday. So in order for us to help identify proper durations, we're going to use the exponential moving averages. So for durations, we're going to use the 50 and also the 200 EMA. So can someone guess why? Bakit 50 or 200. Kahit type nyo na lang sa chat. Okay, from Royce, 50 days is equals to 2 trading month. Napakagaling, tama 'yon. Quarterly and yearly as per Nathan, tama din. And then 200 for yearly, 50 for 2 months. Galing, galing. Ang galing nyo, ha? So, yun. Pwede na pala tayo mag-skip ng magnitude. So, yun. Tama siya. And then we're going to use also the moving averages, convergence, divergence, or the MACD. We're going to use this one to identify the duration patterns. So, paano or how? The most important area to look for is around the zero line. And the MACD line is poised to cross the signal line. Yon. Like for this chart ni Microsoft, there was a short-term magnitude and it does remove the overbought condition na, di ba? Then if you look closely at the MACD, parang it is poised na to break above the signal line. So medyo nag-fall below lang siya ng zero, no? Pero within that area pa rin. Okay. So babalikan natin yung mga previous examples natin and ilalagay natin si EMAs and also the MACD. So this one is NIU and IU. So alam na natin na fully corrected na siya, no? So duration na siya. This area, sorry. At this area. So yun. But what if we include the 50 and 200 EMAs plus the MACD? Anong napansin nyo? Okay. Gabriel? Gabriel ba?
Yes, hello.
Okay. Hello. So ano napansin natin with the 50, 200, and also the MACD during this time?
The MACD is moving towards zero. And
Okay.
then like the 50 days becoming kind of flat towards the end.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yun. And then the price is actually greater than 200 lang. Well, obviously naman talaga siya. And then, okay. So, and then, tanong ko na earlier, bakit 50 day? Kasi nga, 1 to 2 months equates to 40 trading days. So, yung 10 days na difference natin, yun na lang yung leeway natin. So, ideally, magte-trade yung issue within or above the 50 EMA. So, yun may cheating na kayo So, again, price is trading above 200 and within 50, and then your MACD is at 0 or around 0. Okay? Next will be Tesla. Again, with the use of our checklist earlier, we know na complete na yung duration natin. And if you're going to add the MACD and the EMAs, almost the same scenario siya with NIU. So, again, price is above 200 EMA, trading around 50 EMA, and then the MACD is at 0. Okay? NEO. So, yun. Ito ano lang. Try lang. Kyle, can you draw the 50 EMA kung nasan siya? And the 200 na rin. Try lang.
I think yung 50 nasa somewhere around here. Tapos yung 200 mga nandito.
Okay, sige. So, yun. Actually, lower. Lower lang siya. Bakit? Kasi wala pa siyang 2 months Parang if you look closely, parang 1 month lang siya. Or 1 month plus few trading days. So kaya above pa siya. And then pero you gets nyo na yung concept, 'di ba? Usually kapag nag-duration na yung issue, yung EMA, yung 50 EMA is near dun sa price natin. And then your 200, obviously syempre nasa baba lang siya. So sige, pa-clear na lang ako, Kyle. Thank you. And then again, price is greater than your or above the 200 EMA. Also your 50 EMA or yung price natin is trading around 50 EMA. And then as you can see here, yung MACD natin is above zero. Bakit? Kasi for this issue, actually may demand talaga siya. So as I mentioned earlier, hindi na niya kinailangan ng 2 months para ma-complete yung duration natin. Parang 1 month lang complete na siya. Then after that, nag-breakout na yung issue. So yun, ito, workhorse. Ay, na-click ko na. So yun, again, paulit-ulit lang to, no? Price is greater than 200 EMA. Next will be the price ulit natin is trading around 50 EMA. And then yung MACD natin is around 0. Okay. How about Jets? Check natin. Can someone draw the 50 and 200? Sige, I'll call someone na lang, ah. Okay, Jetro? Jetro ba? Tama?
Yes, sir.
Hello. Okay, yan. Jetro. Can you help me draw the 50 EMA and 200?
50 MA. So, feel ko parang around dito, yung 50 MA. Tapos,
Okay.
yung 200 would be around dito.
Alright. Sige, check natin. So, yun.
Oh,
Medyo mas mababa lang siya. Kasi, sa falling coil eh. So, yung averages mo, medyo mas mababa. So, yung 50 days, if you're going to count the 50 starting from your last trading day, medyo downtrend na siya. So, you're going to expect na yung 50 EMA natin is medyo mas malapit na siya sa price talaga. Right? But that's fine. Gets nyo na yung logic eh, na yung duration natin, nagtitrade siya within the 50 and then below, and then above the 200. Okay? Thank you, thank you. So, pa-clear na lang. So, again, price is greater than 200, trading above 50 and MACD around 0. I'm not sure na what happened with the Jets. Hindi ko sure kung nalaglag na siya or something. Or if nag-breakout na. Okay. So, balikan natin si Crocs, no? Again, if we're going to use our checklist, yung numbers 4 to 6 natin, actually check siya eh. But again, it does not remove the overbought condition. And if you'll notice, divergent din yung issue. Okay, so you have your higher high here and then lower low ka kay MACD. Someone asked this yesterday, I'm not sure sino. What if daw contradicting yung mga indicators? So again, nasagot na rin ni Peter, no? We'll lean on the price action. Kasi from the very beginning pa lang, alam naman na natin na it's not a form of duration eh. So channel talaga siya. So from there, itong trade issue na to, during that time, pass na to for us. Hindi na namin siya papansinin. Or if we really wanted to trade Crocs, maybe ano na lang siya, range trading. So we'll buy it at the support area. So at this area, no? And then we're going to sell it sa resistance. Also, this one, as resistance. Ganun na lang namin siya iti-trade. If talagang gusto namin. Right. So sample executions, just to give you an idea lang. Don't worry because this will be discussed in the next few days. So mas intensive na discussion tayo doon. Or kung sino man yung magdi-discuss sa inyo. So, going back again, Sky Niu, you're buying at the break or you're going to buy at the break of resistance area. So dito sa area na to. Next naman natin, yung cut natin is at the break of the support pattern. So, what if pinabili lang niya tayo, no? Tapos after that, nag-breakdown. So, magka-cut na tayo since mali na yung trade. And then, you're selling. Actually, it's up to you. Pero I'll give you some sample na lang. So, number one, pwede tayo magbenta at the VAR multiple. So, yung VAR natin is the difference between the buying point and the cut or the VAR. And then times lang siya. Kung ilan yung gusto nyong multiple, maybe times 1. So 1R or 2R, pwede rin, di ba? So inabot naman niya. Doon na tayo magbebenta if ever na umabot doon. Okay, one of the potential strategy yun ha. Next, pwede rin tayo magbenta sa nearest resistance na makikita natin. So ito yung full duration mo. So yung resistance natin is at this area. So maybe we can take some profits na at this area. And then, kung may balance ka pa, i-ride mo na lang. Next, another example ng selling strategy mo, pwede rin tayong magbenta if it breaks the short-term EMAs. Like Peter mentioned yesterday, ginagamit din siya as support and resistance areas, di ba? So, if I'm going to draw the 10 EMA here, maybe ganito yung itsura niya. Tapos, 20 EMA siguro at this area. I'm not sure I'm not sure lang. Pero within that area siguro. And then 50. So, we can use that as our selling point. So, if na-break na niya, magbebenta na tayo dun. Or kung gusto mo 20-day, pwede rin. Benta tayo dito sa area na to. Kung gusto mo magbenta partially, pwede rin. Or benta mo lahat, it's up to you. Right? Next, Tesla. Again, you'll buy at the break of resistance area. And then your cut is below the support or the pattern. Then selling strategies, yon I mentioned earlier, pwedeng VAR, 1R, medyo malaki no? 1R and then 2R, pwede rin. Pero umabot pa siya 3R, sobrang lakas. 3R. Or by using short-term EMAs. Next, NIO, NIO. So again, paulit-ulit lang siya, no? Kaya sabi ko sa inyo, madali lang ang technical analysis eh. Basta practice lang tayo. So buy at the break of resistance area, then cut, then sell at VAR multiple. Or short-term EMAs. Sample natin, baka nandito yung si 20 or si 10. So if ma-break niya to, magbebenta na tayo. Okay? Then same. And as you can see here, again, magandang example ito because nagkaroon ng pullback eh. After breaking out, nagkaroon na siya ng retracement. And that retracement is actually a reversal of roles as Peter mentioned a while yesterday. yung previous resistance natin, naging support siya. So, ito yung tinitingnan ng mga range traders if gusto nilang bilhin yung issue. Alright. So, we're now done with the duration pattern. May questions ba tayo, guys? Questions? Alvin, no? Question si Alvin, is there a logic why it has to be 5 and 4 is insufficient, and why is the 1 to 2 months just an estimate or a tight rule? Actually, kung maalala mo kanina, no, meron tayong tinatawag na blue sky. Hindi siya umabot ng um ng 2 months. Actually, 1 month lang siya, no? Pero executable na siya. So, yung 1 to 2 months, it is actually, if i-check mo, yung MACD kasi natin nun, let's say 2 weeks pa lang, wala pa siya sa zero. So, meaning, hindi pa niya talaga na-remove yung overbought condition. And if you look at the price alone lang, hanap ka ng mga issues na wala pang 1 month, pero sa tingin mo may 5 points na siya. Yung logic ng price nun, hindi pa niya talaga nare-remove yung overbought condition eh. So it's more of yung number 1 natin sa checklist, kung na-remove na ba niya yung overbought condition. And then dun sa 5 points naman, it's for us to draw the support and resistance areas. Actually, combination talaga siya eh. You'll notice it kapag nag-i-screen ka na if yung 4 points parang kulang, pero there will be times na yung 4 point nagbe-breakout na siya. So, ang important talaga if na-remove na niya yung overbought condition. So, yun. Yun. That's the most important thing natin na kailangan nating i-check kung na-remove na niya yung overbought condition and if may clear support and resistance areas. So, yun. I-check mo lahat nung natin, nung criteria natin. Number 1 lang talaga siya. So, number 1 lang talaga siya nagli-lead kung natanggal na niya yung overbought condition. 3 to 4 months, yes, mahaba na siya. It's more of a reset na tinatawag natin, no? So, medyo limited lang kasi yung time natin para i-discuss ko siya. Pero if you want, and I suggest na i-search nyo yung VCP or Volatility Contraction Pattern. Diniscuss siya nasa book siya ni Mark Minervini. So, yun yung samples ng mga 3 to 4 months na duration natin. So, yun. Medyo tight lang yung sked kaya hindi na namin naisama dito sa presentation namin. And most of the time, mas madalas talaga mag-appear si durations compared kay resets. So, mas marami yung data points namin for durations instead of resets. So, yun. Pero it's pa rin setup pa rin siya. So, I suggest search nyo siya. Again, VCP, Volatility Contraction Pattern. Right? Okay. So, I hope na nasagot ko yung question mo, Alvin. Alright. Thank you. So, we're moving on to my favorite part of trading, no? And setup wise. We'll discuss now the magnitude of prices. Again, alam niyo yung definition niya, no? Sharp increase in prices that causes an overbought conditions. If downtrend naman, decrease in prices tapos oversold. Right. So for those trading for quite some time now, maybe familiar kayo sa issue na ito, which is Macro Asia last 2017. Actually, dito kasi ako na-hype mag-trade eh. Sabi ko parang ang dali lang ah. So yun, it is a perfect example of magnitude and duration na makikita mo talaga sa chart or sa price action. I know, nakita nyo agad where the duration is, no? So ito, we have our support, resistance, and then MACD mo around 0, di ba? Tapos after that, nag-breakout yung issue. So ito yung tinatawag natin magnitude of prices. And after that, meron ka ulit duration. So yung EMA 50 natin is at this area. Tapos nag-breakout siya ulit. MACD at 0. Okay? So ang dali lang, no? Kita na natin siya agad. Sa after this session, I want you to practice looking at the chart and hanapin nyo yung mga magnitude and duration. After that, nagkaroon na ulit siya ng magnitude. And maybe, no? Maybe some of you na napansin na to na yung very basic arrow natin dun sa illustration natin earlier is the 50 EMA. So as long na it's trading above the 50 EMA, we can say na intact pa din yung uptrend niya. Alright? So, momentum trading, it is a method used after the break of duration. Again, sabi ko guys, mag-take notes tayo kasi may activity tayo later. Into new 52-week high. Okay? And always starts again at the break of the duration pattern. Usually, there's a catalyst. Okay. Merong either earnings, acquisitions, new developments, and so on. So pag may catalyst ka, meron kang demand. Gaya nung sa ano natin, di ba? Sa bicycles natin, yung COVID-19, nahirapan na tuloy mag-commute yung mga tao and very limited yung way of transport natin. So yung pinaka-practical talaga is si bicycle. So yun yung catalyst for the price of the bicycle. So in trading, meron din tayong ganun. Holding period, short lang to, no? From minutes to a few days. And also, one of the catalysts for EVs, yung net zero emissions plan ni Biden. Kaya tumuloy din sila, di ba? Yung mga issues. So, for momentum trading, one of the important indicators that we're going to use is the average directional index or ADX. As Peter discussed yesterday, it is used mostly on magnitude strategies and it can be used to determine the strength of a trend. Right? ADX is greater than or equal to 30. We will also use the MACD to help us identify trends. Well, alam nyo na to, no? Ginagamit natin siya kanina. If nasa 0, duration. So of course, if running to upward siya, and then naka-wide mouth na tinatawag natin, no? So magkahiwalay siya. Meaning, hindi pa patapos yung magnitude natin. If you see this type of MACD, most likely tapos na yung duration natin kasi ito yung signal line, di ba? So ang important sa atin ang ginagamit natin for momentum trading is yung gantong tsura ng MACD, okay? So, again, we will go back to our basic, very basic foundation or very basic illustration of magnitude and duration. So again, you have your magnitude, and after having your magnitude, you will have, or you will expect it to have its duration. And then after breaking out, dapat may volume yan. Or ideally may volume yan. Makikita mo na itong mga candlestick na to. Okay, so you'll have your poles, and after that, magkakaroon ka ng tinatawag nating pause days. Okay? So the logic lang behind the pause day is that there are some people na nagtitake na ng profits, but there's no selling pressure yet. Unlike sa duration, meron na tayong ganun, di ba? Parang yung price natin may retracement na eh. But sa magnitude, makikita natin tong mga pause days. Sorry, nasama si Paul. Okay? And this will give us an opportunity to participate. Kasi wala pang selling pressure eh. Well, profit taking pero konti lang. Kaya hindi siya nagkakaroon ng selling pressure. Right? Wait lang ah. So, kita na ba yung screen ko? Sorry, nag-pause ako. Okay, sige. Check natin if may nanood ba sa inyo nung pre-session lectures na sinad ng ating mga mentors. As per Rainer Teo, no? How or when not to trade inside days na tinatawag niya or yung post days natin. Marco, naalala mo ba?
Sir,
When not to?
I wasn't so sure, but I
Okay.
not I forgot. But
Okay lang.
was it if it's not confirmed by volume?
No. Okay lang. Medyo matagal na rin siya. No? Pero sabi ni Rainer Teo, when the market is still in range or within the duration. So again, ang magnitude, ang momentum trading, ginagawa natin siya after breaking out of its duration. Okay. So, chart-wise, no? Alam naman natin to si All HC. I'm not sure what happened na today. But alam naman natin kung ano nangyari yesterday, no? Nag-breakout siya. So, before that day, chart-wise, parang there's a little to no risk reward, di ba? Pero tama naman, post day naman siya. Inside day. And then, may parang magnitude, may volume, pero may resistance pa siya. But if you know something about the company, maybe you can participate na. But I suggest na at the break of the resistance area na. So, I think 380 is the buying point for this one. Hindi yung post day. And then, yesterday, yun nga, alam naman natin nag-breakout yung issue with volume. So, at this point, dapat nasa watchlist na natin siya, di ba? Kasi we're waiting for another set of post days in order to participate. Okay. And then, how or when to trade it? Kasi nga, nag-breakout na siya ng duration niya eh. So, new high na siya. So, ito na yung sinasabi ni Rainer Teo na out of consolidation na siya. And then, this one is obvious naman, no? It respects the 10 EMA or the 10 period EMA, moving averages. So, one of the setups that we trade is what we call the boomers. This is a continuation pattern within the magnitude. So, for our checklist, number 1, new high price. Meaning out of duration na siya. And number 2, ADX should be equal or greater than 30. Bakit? Because yung ADX, like Peter mentioned yesterday, no, define the strength of the issue. And we can confirm the strength of the issue if it's above 30 or kapag 30 na siya. And then number 3, pause days. Does it have pause days? Yun. Next will be wide MACD, meaning fresh pa siya and we're not expecting it to cross anytime soon, and especially it's not a divergent. Take note lang, this is the ideal chart. Okay? Again, take note. If may pakikinggan kayo sa presentation ko na to, ito yon. Take note This is the ideal chart. So if you found something like this and nakita nyo na maganda yung catalyst, ano pa hinihintay nyo, no? PM nyo na kami para lahat tayo kumita. So yun, sabay-sabay tayong kikita guys. Okay? PM nyo kami. So how to execute boomers? Sorry. Buy at the break of high of the post day and then cut below the pattern. Pwede rin dito sa low na to pero it's up to you. Expectation wise kasi after this candle pagka na break high na niya yan, tutuloy na yan. And then for selling naman, again, sell at VAR multiple. So ano yung VAR multiple natin dito? So the difference between your buying and your cut. Buying point and your cut. So maybe 1 hour, pwedeng 1.5, 2 hour, etc. Pero since nasa magnitude na tayo, expectation natin, nag-i-scalp lang tayo. So we're taking advantage of the post days lang. And again, ito yung ideal na setup. But you'll encounter different types of post days. Like this one, parang 2-day post lang siya, no? So same setup lang din, same criteria din naman. But you can either buy at break of high and then cut here. Also, you can buy at the break of the pattern high, no? If talagang gusto mo sure na. And same selling lang, selling system lang. Sell at VAR multiple. Okay? So let's take a look at some charts that I gathered, no? So, galing, babalik ulit tayo kay new. So if hindi mo nakuha yung duration, meron pa tayong opportunity to trade the magnitude. So again, this is your support and resistance areas, breaking out with volume. So pasok ka agad yan sa criteria natin. Tapos after that, nag-pause day na siya. Again, hindi siya yung ideal, no? Pero 1, 2, pause day na siya. So our checklist, new high, check. ADX greater than or equal to 30, check. This is your ADX 30 line. And then pause days. Check. And then your wide MACD, check. Alright? So after that, nagrally yung issue. Pero parang 1 hour lang siya. Okay? Then after that, bumalik na sa price natin. Next, RESN. New high price, check. ADX 30, check. Pause days, check. Wide MACD, check. Okay. So, ang dali lang, no? Checklist lang kapag trading magnitude tsaka duration. Paulit-ulit lang siya. Then after that, if you're going to take profits at 1 hour, bibigay niya sa'yo agad sa unang araw pa lang. Or 2 hour, binigay din niya. Pero what if na-miss mo tong opportunity na to? Actually, nag-create pa siya ng another opportunity here. So, post day din siya, di ba? So, from there, dapat ready ka na to execute. Again, yung breakouts natin, gusto natin may volume. Relatively high, okay? Again, ulitin ko gusto natin yung breakouts natin may volume. Maganda times 2, times 3. Meaning may demand talaga yung issue. Ulitin ko ulit. Ulitin ko ulit. Kailangan times 2 or times 3, okay? After that, if na-miss mo pa rin to, nagbigay pa siya ng another opportunity here. But unfortunately, nag-gap up siya eh. So, ano na siya? Parang bigay na natin sa market yun. Hindi na kasi siya set up for us. Or hindi na siya viable for us. Next, NEP. Okay. After breaking out of its duration, kita nyo may volume. And then it creates a pause days. So new high price, check. ADX30, check. Pause days, check. Then wide MACD, check. Okay? After that, nagbigay din siya ng at least 1 hour, maybe 1.5 hour. Yun. Then bumalik siya sa price eh. Then I don't know na kung ano nangyari sa next. Okay? How about this one? I'll call someone Nathan?
Ay,
Hello, new high ba yung price natin?
new high, not really, but nearing.
Okay, para siyang yung ano no, para siyang yung all HC natin.
Then
Okay, so we're
ADX greater than 30.
okay.
Pause days, yes. Oh,
Sige, go.
yeah, nagkakaroon na ng pause days.
Hmm.
Then, check rin sa wide MACD.
Okay, so everything is checked except for the
New
new high price. So for me, mahanap muna ako ng ibang issues na ideally new high. But again, if meron kang alam sa issue na hindi ko alam, maybe fundamentally maganda siya, potentially breakout. Pero just buy it at the break of the resistance line. Pero as a momentum trade, hindi pa talaga siya. Kasi kailangan natin new high. Okay? After that naman, actually, tumuloy siya. But, again, sa momentum trading, dapat ready ka lang kasi minsan, nagbibigay talaga ng opportunity. After breaking out, meron na ulit siyang pause days. So, ito, new high na siya. And everything is checked. It's ADX30, pause days, wide MACD. Okay? From there, nagbigay naman talaga siya. Oh. Parang, if na-hold mo, more than 2 hour yan. Okay? Next, SUNW, SUNW. So, after breaking out of duration, new high na siya. ADX30, check. Post days, check. Wide MACD, check. Okay? After that, bigay na agad siya ng 1 hour or 2 hour or more. Okay? But after that, actually nagbigay pa siya ng opportunity eh. Yun. So, gaya ng sinabi ko kanina, kailangan ready lang kayo guys sa momentum trading. Kasi marami siyang opportunity na ibibigay. Unlike duration pattern, if na-miss mo yung isang breakout, na-miss mo na yung duration pattern. So, kailangan nakaabang ka na sa momentum trading. Sa momentum trading naman, you can have multiple entries. Like this issue, dalawa na siya agad. Then after that, tumuloy na yung issue. Okay? Next, PDSB. This year lang to, no? June 2021. So, new high price, check. ADX30, check. Pause days, check. Wide MACD, check. Okay? After that, nagrally na yung issue. More than 1 hour, sobrang okay niyan for us. More than 2 hour, the best yan. Yan yung mga gusto natin. More than 2 hour, more than 3 hour. Okay. After that, kung na-miss mo yun, no, nagbigay pa ulit siya ng opportunity. New high price, check. ADX30, check. Post days, check. Wide MACD, check. Okay? After that, rally yung issue. Pero, next day, nagkaroon na ng may selling na. No? So, dapat talaga, pag momentum trading, you have to be quick. If 1 hour, it's up to you if you're going to sell some. Pero yung mga gantong issue dapat, if umabot na ng 1 hour, 1.5 hour, 2 hour, dapat hindi ka na natatalo. Kasi marami pa namang opportunity na darating. And ang concept talaga ng momentum trading is dapat pag binili mo, tutuloy na siya. Okay? So that's it for momentum trading. And next will be pullbacks. Actually, same concept lang siya. It's more of yung post days natin, nandun siya or sitting siya above the short-term EMAs, which is 10 EMA for this example. Okay? Ideally, yung first retracement siya. First or second, maybe thirds, pero siguro lower expectation na tayo dun. Same, ADX is equal or greater than 30. Kapag 10 EMA, our expectation is it will move into new highs. Pero pag 20 EMA yan nag-pullback, more of range lang siya sa high. Okay? And then dapat wide MACD pa si 10 EMA. So buying almost the same, buy at the break of high of post days, and then cut below. Right? For selling strategy naman, same. Sell at VAR multiple. For 10 EMA to Again, for 10 EMA. Next, this is an example of 20 EMA. So, if naalala nyo, no, yung black arrow natin, it's more of the 50 EMA. So, 20 EMA, medyo malapit lang for illustration, pero medyo malayo pa siya pag ideal chart na. Okay? The main difference lang ni 10 EMA tsaka ni 20 EMA is that yung expectation natin. For 20 EMA, there's a higher probability na magkakaroon ng resistance at this area. Kasi si 20 EMA, parang siya na yung start ng duration. Parang siya na yung second point, okay? Parang siya na yung second point. So yung MACD mo, potentially nag-cross na siya. Okay? Pero may opportunity pa yung issue eh. So, try din natin. Same execution, buy at the break of high, and then cut below pattern. Okay? So again, kapag 20 EMA, potentially magkakaroon ng resistance dun sa high. Okay? So, some examples, no? New high price check. First retracement after breaking out. Ito, parang breakout siya. And then after that, nag-retrace. 10 EMA, potential new high. Okay? ADX is greater than 30, then wide MACD. So, check tayo lahat. So, after that, nagbigay pa ng opportunity si SunPower. And as you can see here, ito yung mga 20-day pullbacks na tinatawag natin. Pero hindi siya nagpabili. So, hindi ko na siya sinama. Right? Selling VAR multiple. For sure, umabot siya ng more than 2 hour. Alright. Don't worry guys, may day tayo for execution, no? I think few days from now, focus yung discussion natin sa execution. So this one naman is Uber. New high price, check. First retracement after breaking out. So nag-breakout siya ng pattern. And then 10 EMA yung pullback niya. Medyo mas mataas lang ng konti. So ADX, sakto siya, nasa 30. Then wide MACD. Alright? After that, nagbigay din ng pera si Uber. Next, this one is MRC. Okay, pero I think MRC to ng US. MRC to ng US. Okay? After breaking out with volume, again with volume, new high price, and then first retracement after breaking out. Then 10 EMA siya. So potentially new high, yung expectation natin. ADX is greater than 30. And then wide MACD. Alright? Next, Playboy. Sana alam nyo siya, no? New high price. Check. First retracement after breaking out. Question mark, no? Pero bakit kaya? Kasi itong volume na to, kung nakikita nyo yan, dyan in-announce yung NFT or yung non-fungible tokens niya na potentially daw gagawa sila. I'm not sure if may progress na, pero because of that catalyst, nagkaroon ng demand yung issue. So, dito naka-ready na kami na mag-execute. So, after that, ADX above 30, then wide MACD. Unfortunately, nag-gap up yung issue. So, maybe some of us hindi na siya na-execute. Pero, yung next opportunity natin, though hindi na siya first retracement, no? Second retracement na siya. We take it as, or we took it as an opportunity pa rin to participate. Kasi sobrang ganda ng issue niya, sobrang ganda ng catalyst niya eh. Imaginein mo, Playboy, magagawa sila ng, or makikijoin sila sa trend ng crypto world, which is NFT. So, ang dami mong market dun. So, dito, ready na rin kami mag-participate. So, same checklist. And then, after that, nagbigay na ng pera. If talagang na-miss mo pa siya, no? Actually, may isa pang opportunity na binigay si Playboy. Pero at this point, medyo, ano na, yun na yung parang end ng magnitude. Okay? So, ideally, yung mga unang retracement yung focus natin. Okay? And this is one example of 20 EMA pullback. Last night lang siya, no? As you can see here, yung post day niya, nasa 20 day. Ito yung 20 day natin. So, nag-break na siya ng 10 day. So, expectation-wise, if na-trade mo to last night, may resistance at that area. Pero risk-reward-wise, looks okay, parang 1.5 R. So, you will have 1.5 edge if ever na tinrade mo siya. Okay? To sum things up, it's all about the law of supply and demand. Whether you're trading the duration, you have to know the behavior of area patterns or the price action. If you master that, instead of using indicators to help you, ikaw na mismo makaka-drawing ka na ng indicators. So practice lang talaga siya. Same goes with magnitude. As long as there's a catalyst during the breakout from the consolidation or out of consolidation, plus it retains the strength of the magnitude. So ADX 30 ka pa rin. Look for false days and you can now participate. Okay? So I will now open the floor for questions. Okay, si Erica muna.
Hi, sir. For
Hello.
yung boomer setup po, so do you move your stop to breakout point once it breaks out, or do you move it to break even? Kasi like sinabi mo, di ba, like hindi na dapat matalo kapag nag-breakout na. So how do you move your stops dun sa boomer
Okay.
setup?
Actually, it depends sa'yo. Pero ako yung system ko talaga, after reaching, actually 0.5 hour pa lang 0.5 hour or minsan 1 hour, nasa tabla na yung stop ko. Kasi everyday naman may opportunity if maghahanap ka talaga. Meron talagang opportunity ng momentum. Not unless sobrang pangit ng market. May mga days talaga na ganun. Pero hindi siya aabutin ng months na wala kang makitang momentum setup na medyo okay. You know? So, for us, talagang especially pag umabot na ng 1 hour yan, dapat hindi na siya talo. So, yun. Again, for me, 0.5 hour, nasa tabla na yung stop ko. Okay?
Tapos another question, sir. So for the selling din, so paano siya? Kung nag-reach na ng 1 hour, do you sell like 1/3 first, 1/2?
Okay. Yun. Actually, it's up to you. For me, I wanted to ride the move So, gusto ko sana magbenta sa 2 hour lagi. Gusto yun yung gusto ko. Pero most of the time talaga. After reaching 1.5 hour, minsan bumabalik na siya. No? So from there, nakakapagbenta naman na ako. As you trade, no? As you trade the global markets, habang tumatagal ka talaga nagtitrade, dadami kasi yung data points mo So from there, makakagawa ka ng system na mag-fit talaga sa'yo. So for me, based on my data points, ideally no, dapat at least yung winners ko for momentum setups dapat 1 hour siya. So meaning from my buying point to selling point times 1, yun dapat yung kikitain ko. Pero minsan kumikita ka lang ng 0.5 hours sa momentum. Minsan malaki, mga 3 hour ganun. Okay? It's up to you or it's up to your data points. The more data points you have, the more you can mas mabibuild mo yung ano mo. Mas magiging concrete yung system mo. Mas maka-create mo yung concrete na system na will fit for you. Okay?
Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you. Next. Sige, sagot muna ako sa Okay, sagot muna ako sa Facebook. Care of Steve. How to determine when the stock is on reset, retrace? I guess retrace to, no? What's the usual price or EMA alignment? Actually, if retrace, we're talking about retracement. So meaning nag-run up na yung issues. And if nag-run up na yung issues and new high na siya, ang EMAs mo dapat niyan, naka-align na siya. So, yung 10 is greater than 20, that your 20 is greater than 50, and so on. So, dagdag ko na lang din, saan ko tinitingnan yung mga retracement or ano yung important retracement na area sa akin? For me, it's on the EMAs. So, 10, 20, and then after that, 50 na talaga eh. After i-break yung 20, most of the time, 50 EMA na. Okay, I'll answer. Sige, si Kobe muna. Kobe.
Okay. Yun lang, about the boomers as well. I to ask lang kung yung wide MACD, kahit naman ba na nagko-converge na yung MACD or like dapat nagwo-widen siya? What kind, like, or basta wide okay na? Okay na tayo.
Actually, kapag divergence na siya, hindi mo makikita yung hindi ganito yung itsura ng formations mo, no? So, after breaking out, ito yung post days. Tapos, breaking out. If maaalala mo, yung crocs natin, doon ka makakakita ng mga ng mga divergence and then parang may post days. So, ideally talaga, kailangan mo ma-master yung price. Kasi from there, makikita mo, alam mo na agad divergence ba to or hindi. So yun. Kaya laging, almost lahat ng examples ko is out of duration. Okay? And then, sa sessions mo with your coach, kung sino man yung coach mo, feeling ko magaling yung coach mo. So yun. Marami ka matututunan sa mga coaches. Okay? Sa next month yata, may trading tayo. Alright. Pero ideally, out of duration. Okay, Alvin. Ay, sorry. Nathan pala muna, Nathan.
Okay, hi. So for boomers again, when doing the checklist for pause days, is it a strict thing na dapat it's inside bar after inside bar, or kahit may slight consolidation, we can call it pause days na? Because I believe kanina there were some candles na sa pause days, yung high of the succeeding days are actually higher than the previous one.
Yeah. Yun. So from there, actually hindi naman siya ito lang yung sinasabi ko nga kanina na ideal setup. So most of the time talaga yung makikita mo is the non-ideal setup. Pero doon na magmamatter yung catalyst ng issue. Kasi minsan talaga sa sobrang ganda ng catalyst ng issue, medyo wild na yung price action niya, no? Pero lagi mong iisipin yung logic ng price. Bakit if nagkaroon na siya ng inside day or medyo tumatahimik na siya, quiet days, dapat ready ka na to participate. And again, if nakakita kayo ng gantong setup, this is the ideal, i-PM nyo kami, okay? Kahit yung mga nasa FT guys, PM nyo kami. Okay? Nasagot ko ba, Nathan? Sorry.
Yes, yes, yes. Okay, thank you.
Ayan. Alvin. Alvin?
He's in the chat yata.
Okay, sorry. Yun. Okay. Okay. So if the pattern lasts for 10 days, hindi na siya momentum setup for me. Actually, just to add lang pala, no, ang momentum setup natin, dapat at least 5 days lang siya. Okay? At least 5 days. Kasi dapat tutuloy na siya eh. Hindi na siya pause days if aabot siya ng 10 days. If aabot ng 10 days yung mga inside day niya, pero I don't think aabot siya eh. Siguro konti lang yung ganong issues. There will be some retracement na siguro. Most likely mga ano na siya, 10 EMA pullbacks. Kasi hahabol na yung ano nun eh. Hahabol na yung EMA, 'di ba? Kasi moving average siya eh. So tatapat na siya dun sa ano. Magsisit na yung price kay 10 EMA. If 10 days na siya. Okay? Okay. Okay, may question sa Facebook, care of Rika. Is it better for the EMAs to be close to each other or for there to be a gap between them? And do you recommend using EMAs for cutting losses? Sige, sagutin ko to if I'm going to trade boomers, no? Ideally talaga, yung boomers kapag nag-form na siya, magkakalayo na yung EMAs niya. Kasi may magnitude ka na eh. After breaking out, you'll see these post days. Ang EMA mo niyan is nandito na siya. Maybe, wait I'll annotate. So yung 10 EMA mo, mostly nandyan, then 20 EMA mo nandyan. Okay? So, every time na new high yung price, magkakalayo talaga yung ano, or nagkaroon na ng magnitude, magkakalayo talaga yung mga EMAs natin. And next question, do you recommend using EMAs for cutting losses? If I'm going to trade 20 EMA pullbacks, I'm going to use 10 EMA as my profit taking siguro, but not as my cutting not as my basis for cutting my losses. It's more of the price action pa din, no? So yung low nung pattern, yung gagamitin ko for cutting losses. All right? I hope I answered your question. I'll answer this one. Erica Ong, would you happen to have any data on the hit rate of boomer setup? Is it different sa global and sa local market? Any recommendations on what circumstances make the play higher probability? Okay, sige, I'll share my hit ratio na, no? Nakakaya. So, for my boomers, last time I checked, parang last month yata, yung from my June 2020 up until May siguro yun, May 2021, parang nasa 40 plus percent hit ratio. So, yun, mga 40%, 35 to 40 siguro. Parang ganun, if I remember it correctly. 35 to 40% hit ratio yung boomers ko. Ayun. Kasi ito talagang tinatrade ko eh, boomers. And then is it different sa global and local market? May tanong ako, Erica. Ilan ba yung new high sa Philippines last year? So yun yung sagot ko sa'yo. Ilan ba yung new high sa Philippine market last year? So from there, alam na natin yung sagot. Konti lang kasi yung new high sa sa Philippines. So, mababa talaga yung data points. So maybe this year, no, baka malay natin mag-breakout siya talaga ng sobrang lakas. So yun. Wait lang ah. Okay, yung may isa pang question si Alvin. For momentum setups, do we always have to have VAR multiple price targets, resistance targets, or can we have a short-term EMA? Is VAR multiple the best selling criteria? Again, it's up to you or it's up to your data points to tell you ano yung ideal selling points or selling your ideal basis for selling mo, no? Ako combination eh. It's more of the VAR multiple plus the EMAs. Yan. VAR multiple plus the EMAs. Madami yan, nakakatuwa kapag binibuild mo yung system mo. So makikita mo, ay, mas efficient pala to. Yun. May mga bigla ang ano yan. Mag-i-spark na lang sa head mo. Okay, Alvin, okay tayo? Meron pa? Okay, sige. Abe.
Yeah, question lang for the pullback.
Okay.
Like in your in your example sa pullback, like it's contained within yung sa ano to, 'di ba, day 1 siya. Pagkatapos like wait. Yeah, there the pullbacks.
Okay.
Yung day 1 to day 3, like it's all contained in this first bar here. Does it usually happen like ano to? For example, because what happened recently with Sana, I'm just gonna cite an example, yung sa GMA 7, wherein it had what's this, parang nag-pullback siya, pagkatapos ngayon, ano ulit, parang nag-breakout siya. Does it have to necessarily be contained in this way?
Sige. Let me check the GMA. Okay, ito GMA 7, right?
Yep.
Tumuloy pala, oh.
Yeah.
Discuss kasi ko sa inyo eh. So yun, ano ba sabi ni Peter yesterday? Setup na to, di ba? So, actually, ganito talaga yung itsura niya, Abe. Di ba? Para siyang malayo pa at first. Pero kapag nagba-backtest ka kasi, syempre, yung EMAs natin, humahabol na siya eh. So, parang sitting na siya sa ano, 'di ba? Sa EMA. Pero valid setup to, EGMA. Tama ba? Nasagot ko ba, Abe?
Wait. Ayun, I can annotate. Kasi 'di ba in your in your example, like all these three here are contained here. So in this example sa GMA, is it also parang the same thing, or is it a pullback ba or not?
Maybe ako torn between pullbacks and momentum setup. Pero like I mentioned earlier, medyo same. Basta it's all about post days lang naman. As long na nasa magnitude ka and then may post days, executable na siya. Okay? And then yung question mo, ito, yung, kita ba yung presentation ko?
Yep.
Yan yung ideal setup, okay? So if may makita kayong ganyan, again, hey, PM mo ako. Tapos alam mo yung storya, PM mo ako.
Sige. Okay, thank you.
And then, ang important talaga, just to add, no, ang important talaga sa magnitude is controlled yung selling. Okay? Yun yung, hindi siya selling pressure eh. So like this one, GMA 7, controlled lang yung selling niya, meaning profit taking lang talaga. Alright? Sige. Harold.
Hi sir, I just want to ask lang yung when you say new high,
Relative to what time frame siya? Is it a year or dapat all-time high siya?
For us, at least 1 year lang siguro. 1 year. 1 year.
Thank you.
If it's kung makita mo may resistance ka sa maybe last 2 years, or kung magte-trade ako mamaya, no, 2021 ngayon, if makakita ko ng resistance sa 2019, most likely tapos na yung selling pressure. Wala nang mga ipit doon. Kasi your price is above 200 EMA na yun, di ba? So meaning for the past 200 days, yung mga tao is either tabla or lamang lang ng konti. Walang mga lugi. Walang mga lugi pa. Okay?
Thank you.
Thanks. Abe, may question ka pa, Abe? Okay, I guess wala na. Si Alvin. Okay, I think wala na rin. Okay. I think sasagot ako ng isa pa kasi may activity tayo which is I think mas important siya. Medyo underrated siya eh. So, pero for me, sobrang important niya. Okay? I'll answer one muna and then mag-seat work tayo, and then after that, if may time pa, saka natin siya balikan yung mga questions. Okay? May question si Danny again. For all-time high stocks, what would you say is a good TP percentage, or how would you know when to take your TP? Especially since usually, if all-time high, mabilis na rin yung acceleration and bagsak. So yun, ang ginagamit ko as TP, hindi percentage eh. It's more of the VAR multiple. Kasi pag percentage, it varies kasi minsan yung sa 200 USD na issue, yung 1% niya, 'di ba, malaki na rin. So for ano naman, for low naman, syempre the higher the better. So I use VAR instead of TP percentage. So yun. And then ito napansin mo, no, yung mga all-time high, mabilis na rin yung acceleration and bagsak. Kaya important sa atin yung ADX is dapat nasa 30 pa lang siya. So 30 to 40, 40 to 50, yung mga 60 as Peter mentioned, medyo maingay na yun. So parang reversal na siya. Ang expectation doon, magkakaroon na ng volatility anytime soon. So yun, ideally 30 and above. So yun, nandun ka sa range na yun. And if titingnan mo yung mga ADX 30 na out of duration, kita mo parang may legs pa talaga siya. So yun yung assignment nyo, no? Check nyo na lang if yung mga ADX 30, anong itsura niya? Parang may legs pa talaga siya. So yun, start pa lang nung magnitude. Okay. Okay, sige, ito last. Alvin, does it always check all four, or 2 to 3 would also give a good signal already? Is there a most important check where if the other three are checks, but this one isn't, it's useless? Okay, so I guess yung question niya is hindi kompleto yung checklist natin. Okay, so for example, actually, if we're going to talk about the logic of price, yung checklist natin talaga, isa lang siya. If if you gained enough experience na sa charting or by looking at the price, etong checklist na to, iisa lang talaga siya eh. Except for the postage, syempre kailangan nandun siya. Pero yung new high price, ADX is greater than 30, wide MACD, actually same lang siya. So, I don't think merong executable na na may X ka dito. Kasi for example, if X yung MACD mo, meaning baka baka nasa top end ka na ng range. So ito start pa lang eh. So maybe at this area, ang MACD mo niyan is nag-cross na, 'di ba? So X ka na agad dito and yung ADX mo nun is most likely nasa mga 60 area ka na. 'Di ba? 60 or 70 area. So from there X ka na again. Then pero yung new high price mo is check. If magkaroon ng post days dito, check. So yan. It's all about the logic of price pa rin talaga. So this is for beginners lang talaga para makita mo yung similarities nila. Kasi if lahat ng checklist natin naka-check tayo, iisa lang halos itsura niya mga yan. Kaya kung mapapansin nyo, almost all of our examples, iisa lang yung itsura after breaking out post days. So yan. Okay. Okay, so Sheena, pwede ba mag-overtime? 11:51? Diyan ba si Sheena?
Go lang, go lang. I mean,
Go lang.
oo, breakout naman to, di ba?
Yeah. So yung maybe yung sa FB, baka makat sila tapos balik na lang later, parang ganun. Tama ba?
Yeah, no problem. We can do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sige. So yun, I guess na-answer ko na lahat ng questions. Later na lang if ever na meron pa. So for our activity today, again, I mentioned
Yes, sir.
earlier na medyo underrated siya, no? So bakit? Kasi nagfo-focus tayo sa execution pero hindi pala natin alam kung paano natin makikita yung mga issues na yun. So for today, ang activity natin, gagawa tayo ng screeners. So hahanap tayo ng mga stocks that is executable for the next few days or few weeks. I hope na nag-take kayo ng notes para kung ano yung gagamitin natin sa paggawa ng screener. And then we will use TradingView for the screener, no? And then pick your top 5 or at least top 3 siguro na issues. And then one representative per group. So I'll divide you into group pala. Yung groupings lang natin sa internship. Sila yung magpe-present ng screener and okay? So yung groups 1 and 2 duration, 3 and 4 momentum, 5, 6 pullbacks. Okay? Don't worry, magro-roam naman ako dun sa mga groups nyo to help you guys. So we'll use the trading view, screeners, stock screener, and then just put everything na natutunan nyo today, okay? So wala muna tayong fundamentals, lahat muna ng screeners natin gagamitin natin. Lahat muna ng data na gagamitin natin is from the technical side, okay? And ito yung groupings natin. So 1 and 2 is duration. Next will be momentum, 3 and 4. Then 5 and 6 pullbacks. Okay, ready na ba yung ano?
Yes, it is ready na. I can start the break.
Sige, siguro 15 to 20 minutes